All right, TGI Friday. Specifically retirees, but anybody who's on furlough or off, also members wise. There will be a rally in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. to try and force the Senate to call the House bill for the elimination of the Social Security windfall elimination provision. So we're running out of time. There's about 11 basically working days for the Senate to call the bill and vote on it. We will be having a bus leaving from the FOP on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., returning very late sometime on Wednesday night after the rally, midnight or so, Wednesday night. If you are interested in going, we are certainly looking to fill the bus. We have about 40 seats available left. It will be first come, first served basis. Your hotel will be provided for, transportation, and meals will be taken care of. Send me an email ASAP. As I said, it will be first come, first serve. Any questions, you can call the lodge on Monday morning. Onward we go. It's been a hell of a week in City Hall. This clueless mayor and how he is running this government is incompetent as we've ever seen, and only highlighted more than ever before, and probably new levels of low. And just yet today, his chief of staff, the guy who's giving him all this bad advice and literally ruining this city because he's unfortunately not bright enough to think for himself other than in platitudes and smiles and basically playing the race card. His advisor, Jason Lee, registered to vote in Texas. Think about that. While he's the chief of staff basically here for the mayor of Chicago. Unridiculously corrupt. And he should have to be forced to resign effective immediately. But we all know Brandon's not going to do that because he has multiple defunders and hate the police people who have had no repercussions for their behavior. It was just last week that it was discovered that Brandon Johnson admitted that he had no idea about his communications director's past and allegations. What the hell kind of background check do you do when you actually hire somebody? It was in his personnel folder, but a FOIA request then alerted you to what was in the folder that apparently whoever did the background investigation never looked at or didn't bring it to you. Again, no accountability, nobody's going to be fired. That's just the way that this corrupt government has ran for far too long, and he is just the latest person that's just carrying the torch, so to speak, and turning a blind eye to the way this city is being ran and making it probably even worse and on a fast track to destruction. One more thing. When is the Inspector General, Deborah Witzberg, ever going to announce investigations for city workers for PPP loans, fraudulent PPP loans specifically? To think that everywhere else in this country there has been charges put forth on employees that they knew were fraudulently obtaining and basically stealing money from the government. Not in Chicago, though. There's been no fallout yet. So we're to believe that a workforce that big, there has been nobody who was basically guilty of criminal behavior by fraudulently obtaining that money. There's a lot of rumors that there's certainly more than a handful in the palace over on 35th in Michigan, but there's no movement on any of this. It's about time that the Inspector General does her job. And if she hasn't investigated it yet, maybe you want to start. And if you have, I think it's time to stop sitting on the results and start announcing firings, indictments, whatever the case may be for that fraud. We'll sit here and wait and hold our breath. Lastly, because I know his family watches these videos, I want to extend a heartfelt condolence to Tom Sonnenborn's family. Tom was a lifelong FOP guy, employee, lawyer, then turned arbitrator. He has absolutely kind of set the benchmark for Lodge 7 arbitrations recently, as far as understanding this job on a level that I think is far beyond most arbitrators, and expunging discipline, excessive discipline that COPA's been responsible for, and in some part IAD. But Tom was about as fair as we could hope for in arbitrators for discipline cases. Tragically, Tom lost his battle with cancer in November, and he's going to be sorely missed. So to his family, you're certainly going through it, and we appreciate you sharing time with the rest of us and the Fraternal Order Police family. Thank you, and have a good weekend. I'll give you an update from DC next week at the rally.